I want you to imagine that tomorrow you woke up and decided that you were going to change careers. You apply for a job, you interview, and against the odds, you get it. You are not entirely unqualified. However, you don't check all of the boxes either. You're extremely nervous for your first day, but you decide to show up afraid. This was the mindset I had and the emotions that I was feeling when I started my job this previous year. It was really hot that day, and not just the typical Alabama in September hot. I'm talking it was humid, sticky, confused about your life choices, hot. So I walked into the middle school. I was nervous. I was trying to stay positive and keep a smile on my face, but I just had my pulse beating in my ears, louder than any other thoughts I had in my head. I walked the halls on a tour, and there was all kind of chatter and electricity in the halls and in the classroom with the students. And I just had this imposter syndrome screaming in stereo. That's all I can hear. You're too young. You don't have a traditional education background. You're gonna get run over by a 12-year-old. Nobody wants that, right? So I'm feeling all these emotions, and in the heat of that moment, in walks Daniel Witt. I didn't know who Daniel was. I just expected him to show up with a suit and a tie and a clipboard, and I thought he was going to assess my worthiness of being in the space that I was in. I knew he was with Ed Farm. I didn't know much about Ed Farm at the time, other than it was this really cool ed tech company that was behind the redesign of my space, the Huddle. So I was really nervous. I wanted to impress Daniel as well. I expected him to look like a tech CEO, but he didn't. He walked in with a t-shirt and jeans on, and if you've met Daniel, you know that he's gonna come with his wagon, and his wagon is gonna have tools and gadgets, and he had this smile on his face and this confidence, like he believed in what he was building. So Daniel walked up to me and he smiled and he said, "Hey, you wanna take a tour?" And so just like that, we were taking a tour of my space, the Huddle. There were vinyl wraps on the walls. The walls were freshly painted. There were these beautiful LED lights flashing in the frosted glass of the drop ceiling windows. It felt like you were anywhere but in a middle school. It could have been a spaceship or a tech HQ or even a dreamscape. This space that I was in was a space that was created for innovation and creativity. I suddenly wanted to rise to meet that level of expectation. So there were these little sparks that happened. It didn't happen all at once, but over time, as we walked the space, it started to make sense, but so did I. I truly started to feel like I belonged in that space and that I made sense for that space. Daniel kept telling me, this is what it is, but this isn't what it has to be.